And when they get there, it's the same thing. Dennis Hopper's right into it. He jumps on the couch with 5 women, and they're all rolling around and having a good time. And Peter Fonda's just standing around in the background, taking it all in. This is great montage stuff here of the actual location, paintings on the walls and the ceiling and stuff.
Yeah, it's very, you got the contrast of the religious symbols and the Renaissance type paintings of glorifying the beauty of women, and the religious symbols of being tormented with your sins. It's very interesting. That's a good shot there of, I think that's supposed to be Henry VIII, is it? So
no real prostitutes, they're all actors.
Yeah, that's right. And actually, this is when Karen Black comes in.
Yeah, the famous Karen Black from Airport 77. And 5 Easy Pieces. And Nashville. And again, Peter Fonda, the philosopher. If God did not exist, it would be necessary to invent him. And I think Dennis Hopper is beyond being able to comprehend that statement.
Yep. It's all real too. The only thing that wasn't real was anything they snorted, but anything they smoked or drank was real.
Right. The question is, though, why does Peter Fonda feel that this is the right place with the right people?
I think in a way, it seems like he's already feeling defeated.
Yeah.
He's feeling lost. As soon as Jack Nicholson's character dies, he feels like it's over. Mm-hmm. And maybe he feels that he just wants to do this. You can see that with the premonition there. Mm-hmm. He wants to just do this before he dies. It kind of goes with that saying, never save your best wine for tomorrow. Because tomorrow might never come. Maybe actually I'm paraphrasing it, but the idea is that you always drink your best wine as if it's your last day. You know, there's no point in saving it, and it's true. You know, because you never know what's going to happen, or so why not savor every minute, every moment? You know, don't save it. Because now is the right time, is the right place, is the now. So you can see him sitting there, and he's remorseful, and he's regretful, and he seems a little lost and confused now, and he seems a little worried for his own life.
I think that he thinks that by doing this with the people there, that something will happen. And either the situation will get better or things will change, but primarily that something will happen. Whether it's sacred or mystical or they'll achieve peace, that he feels that this is the time where they really need it. It's sort of like that thing in Transformers the movie. What is it? That thing that's inside of Prime's chest.
What's it called? That.
No, but they're like, you only use it at a specific moment in time, at the most difficult time, because it will solve the problem. But unless it's at the most difficult situation, it won't work, if you know what I'm saying. Do you remember the movie?
I don't think I saw the Transformers movie. Maybe I did once. I don't remember it. I definitely don't remember that.
Do you know Orson Welles was in it?
No.
He plays the voice of Unicron. Anyway, Karen Black in all her glory, and sitting next to Peter Fonda is Luana Anders. She died very young, and Jack Nicholson actually made a reference to her in his Oscar acceptance speech for As Good as It Gets. And also interesting to note here that Peter Fonda really isn't interested in sex either.
Well, his character isn't.
Yes, and Luana Anders' character isn't really interested in alcohol, so they really have a difficult time getting it started, if you know what I mean. No, are these things real? Seriously. Are these things real?
Here we come. We're gonna get to the 16mm footage here now.
Right.
So this is excitement all over. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps.
Well, you're saying that sarcastically, but I'm serious. Like, this makes me want to go to Mardi Gras. I mean, if this is what it was like back... Obviously, it's all different now with Snoop Dogg and Girls Gone Wild and all that, but obviously back then it must have been quite a sight. And again, you know, you look at this grainy 16mm stuff, it's great. They're really using documentary techniques, like all these zooms that are cut together out of place, all handheld camera, you know, bizarro lighting.
Actors walking away from the camera. Yeah. You know, nothing scripted. This is all real. This is actually going on. There's, you know, even the actors aren't really acting.
Yeah. Well, they actually had a couple of documentary cameramen doing it, so I guess they really knew what they were doing shooting-wise, I guess. It's interesting how night just goes into day like that. It's another interesting cut. I guess it's a small continuity thing, but I like the fact that they have it in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just shows that they've been partying all night.
Yeah, but it's not as if you can see the sky go slowly, you know, from dark to light. It's just, it's light all of a sudden. But I like that. It works for the film. It goes with the whole trip aspect of the film. And yeah, again, I like what you're saying. You know, it's like they're really not acting in these shots. You know, they're just meeting bizarre people like this black guy here. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but and then they're looking at these weird floats and stuff, and they're not acting. It's just their true, natural impressions of things. So, you know, and I mean, God, the whole trip aspect when they get into it in the graveyard is just a real tour de force sequence. I think it's about 3 or 4 minutes long, but I mean, it is so intense and powerful with the brilliant sound design going on for 1969 when they're only dealing with 4-track audio equipment, and there's all this weird dialogue going on and quick documentary cuts. Comments?
Yeah, actually, this part of this sequence, this acid trip sequence here, was scripted on the fact that Karen Black had I believe she had a very strange dream the night before.
Oh, yeah.
They went out to film, and she shared that dream with the other actress there, and then she went to Dennis Hopper and was like, you gotta hear this, right? And then they wrote it into it.
Wow, didn't know that. Cool.
Also, in this sequence, you'll see Peter Fonda talking about his real mother, and really getting emotional about it. And there's a point where he goes, "Shut up," and he's actually saying that to Dennis Hopper, and I forget who else it was, but they were arguing about the shot, and he's trying to have this emotional moment. And not acting, so he just quickly told them to shut up right there on camera.
Yeah, Peter Fonda's mother committed suicide. So here we get into
here's one spot in the movie where the cut back and forth isn't bothering me.
How is it any different here?
I think because it's slower.
Okay.
And it fits into the sequence, you know. It is an acid trip sequence, so it just seems to fit more. It shows that drift as he's fading in and out of the scene, and then boom, they're into this weird stuff going on.
Okay, being that you know a lot more about religion than I do. Well, I don't know anything. You're this big Italian religious guy.
Right, yeah.
I don't know what religion you are of, but anyway, what do you make of all this religious dialogue that's going on during the sequence?
I really believe it just has absolutely nothing to do with anything, really. Okay. I think it just
would it be offensive to someone who's like a real religious person?
I suppose so. I mean, you got someone getting naked in Take it out. No, in in a very sacred, holy place. Very. You would say that's disrespectful. I mean, I'm not a religious fundamentalist of any kind.
Okay, but looking at it from a filmmaker's point of view, I mean, what's your analysis of the whole editing strategy here for the sequence?
Well, I think it's just to really give the audience the feeling of what it would be like to be on this trip.
And are they successful?
I would say so. There's confusion. There's mixed emotions. There's the mind playing tricks. Things are fading in and out. The past and the future and the present are all blending together. You don't know which way is up, which way is down. You don't know who's who and where you are exactly. And there's all this disorientation and just this lashing out of different emotions. Anger, frustration, lust, all at the same time. So I'd say it's pretty accurate. And being in a graveyard is probably not the best place to drop acid. Because I think that'll just freak you out even more.
The film was a big box office hit when it came out. Made quite a bit of money. And Dennis Hopper was hailed as a visionary director. And one thing I would recommend is seeing his follow-up film to this, which is called The Last Movie, which was released by Universal Pictures. And it's rated in the top 25 worst films of all time. It was a major box office bomb. And but it does have an interesting story. I've seen it, and it does have a lot of carryover of the camera and editing techniques from Easy Rider, so it is worth one viewing to see anyway as a follow-up. But his career took a major nosedive after that, and he didn't direct another film for 14 years. And now he's pretty much strictly an actor. Peter Fonda went on to act in Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, another road action movie in the 70s. He also directed a very underrated western called The Hired Hand, and has gone on to sporadic acting roles throughout then and there. So the trip is over, and where are they headed? Do you think they're headed back west? Do you think they're headed north?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Are they heading back, or are they going to keep pushing forward? I think with the philosophy behind them, they would just keep pushing forward.
I think they're headed to Florida. That's my opinion. Florida, and then they're going to get in a boat and go somewhere. Travel the sea or go somewhere. That'd be my opinion.
This shot here, they returned the bikes already.
Yeah.
So that's why in this shot you don't see the bikes parked in the background.
But again, it's one of those moments when you're so into the film at this point that you don't notice that kind of thing, which is great.
It doesn't matter. We already know they have the bikes with them. We assume they're there. We don't need that to be known.
Any analysis on the two differing views of opinion here?
Yes, you have Dennis Hopper feels this sense of achievement, almost like a premature celebration, because he's talking about they got the money and they've partied and they're free to do what they want, whereas Peter Fonda is looking for something more. Okay. So we don't. What's interesting is we don't know what Peter Fonda was looking for.
I think he wants to go back to the circus.
He